What's up? What's up? What's up?
How y'all doing today?
What's up, you
Guess who
guys?
controlling the mic with a mouse? Me, that's who.
How y'all
You know,
doing today?
if you ever hooked up this screen deck, we probably wouldn't have these issues.
Give me the mouse.
Bought that about a year ago. I ain't did nothing with it, y'all.
I knew that you were gonna have some type of extraness of if I had you working. How y'all doing today? Come on in the room.
Happy Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Absolutely. It's Tuesday.
It absolutely feels like Monday for me. Yesterday we was in a meeting all day, so we got no day-to-day stuff done, no communication with the team for real. We basically isolated ourselves. So today it was like boom, 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 boom. It was coming from all directions, baby. Hey, but we built for it. Got to bob and weave and do what you can do. If you can't do it, it'll be there tomorrow.
It'll be there tomorrow. Absolutely, don't stress about it.
Tony got football practice at 5:30.
Okay, you better get out of here early. What's up, Chase?
Who we got in the building? Who we got?
What's
Who we
up, Miss
got? Who we
Lawler?
got? Chase. Ooh.
What's up, you guys? Hey, beautiful.
What's
hey.
up? I'm still on you now.
Hey.
Correct. I'm still on you now. You didn't watch that video yet.
Let's go. Let's go. You didn't do anything with your phone?
I
Make
don't
sure it's
think
on
so.
silent. Get your little napkin out the.
Well, we was using the napkin for the mouse.
I know.
Now, when you need it, don't bring it back now. Don't you be asking for help.
What's up, Mr. Larry?
Don't be asking for help.
What's up?
What's up? I ain't seen you in a minute, Mr. Larry. You all right, boss?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I might have a Dylan Tuscaloosa for you, too. Send me a message.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your phone's good?
My phone was good before you even said
welcome, you
good.
guys. It's not good.
Nothing but the 100th episode of the Denmark's training.
That I have not seen you fix yet. That I have not seen you fix yet. What's up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. My name is Ashley Denmark.
I am Antonio Denmark.
Me, Antonio Denmark. We are your moderators. We are your coaches. We are your trainers. And we're here just to teach you, help you get off the sideline, help you overcome your fears so that you can get to what it is that you were called and born to do.
We here to change some mindsets, man. We here to challenge some of y'all thinking, man. We here to open y'all up to a different way of getting results that you never thought was possible.
What's up, Rosa? What's up, Teresa? What's
Miss
up,
Rosa Ruffin?
Chapman?
You running for me too, Miss Rosa.
What's up, you guys? All right, you ready to get into it? Today's training, we are gonna talk about.
You shouldn't be up there. Okay.
We're gonna talk about exactly how you can buy houses using credit cards. All right. Some people buy houses using cash. Some people buy houses using line of credits, using savings. But today we're going to talk about literally how you can buy houses using your credit card. I think one of the first houses.
Ooh, I'm glad you're here, Miss Taylor.
Absolutely. I think one of the first houses that I purchased was actually on my Regions credit card. It was on a credit card. I didn't understand the process in its entirety, but let me say that I bought the house.
It ain't stopped nothing though.
It didn't stop it. I still have that house. It's not in the best shape, but I bet you don't remember which house it was.
I do remember.
Which one?
J.D. Coleman.
No, that wasn't my first one.
Oh, 501?
Yep, the burnt up house.
They knocked that house down.
They knocked it down. I don't have the house anymore.
Gone.
So real short story on that house. But that was the first house that I purchased.
Tiffany, make sure you stay tuned now. It's important for you too.
Absolutely. It was on my personal credit card. I think, and it wasn't much. It was $5,000. Yeah. And my idea was, okay, my payments will be about, I think at that rate, it was probably like $200, $300 a month. And if I had a tenant in place, I'll get $800 a month and it'll take care of my payment. So it was a win-win situation. That's how I structured the deal. We were getting ready to sell the property after probably about 6 or 7 years of owning it. And before we went to Florida, we went and checked on all the properties because we were getting ready to do a package deal. And it was good. It was real good. We came back up after Christmas. This was probably like first, second week of January, and saw that it was burnt crispy. It was burnt to pieces. So yeah, that was my first official investment. Was that before or after?
See, now you're going back too far.
That was my first official investment property on credit card. Let me say that, because I don't know which order they came in.
Yeah,
it wasn't my first investment property, but it was the first one on the credit card. Absolutely. What's up, Miss Taylor? What's up, Biner? What's up, Michael? What's up, Jimmy? What's up? Hey, Nikki. Hey, Kelvin. What's up, Brax?
So to jump this thing off, the first thing that you have to understand is what's good debt and bad debt. All right, that's the first thing you got to understand. So for people who have been around us, or who listens to, or who have read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, give me some examples of bad debt in the chat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say what's good debt, but by the time I get to bad debt, I want to read some of these examples of what's bad
debt. What are some examples of bad debt? Drop it in the chat.
So good debt, I can sum it up simple, clean. If you are borrowing money to make money, that's considered good debt. All right. If you're borrowing money to make money, that's considered good debt. All right. If you are borrowing money to buy products, if you sell clothing, if you're borrowing money to buy the products you need to sell, that's good debt. All right. So anytime you are borrowing money with the intentions of making money off of that money, that's considered good debt.
Absolutely. Hey, Wiley, drop me some bad debt in the comments. Give me some bad debt. What are some bad debts? If Antonio just told us what good debt is, give me an example of bad debt.
All right.
And I'll start off with bad debt.
You gonna tell what bad debt is?
Yes, I'm gonna start off.
All right. So Chris gave us one, and we're gonna talk about that one, Chris.
Okay, I see you, Nikki.
All right. So are you gonna, like, I explained what?
Yeah, I was, and you started talking.
You said I was gonna give you an example.
Yeah, I got this.
Okay. Run, Forrest, run.
All right. So bad debt is anything that you're not making money off of. All right. It's not making you any money, any residual income. It's not increasing your return on your investment. You're not getting a return at all. That's bad debt. All right. So Nikki put in the chat, cars are bad debt unless you do Turo. Absolutely. Cars are bad debt. If you're driving it every day and that car is not making you money, then that car is actually bad debt. All right.
All right. So Chris Terrell gave us an example of credit cards. So credit cards can be good or bad.
Just like a car.
Just like a car can.
Just like a car.
A car can be good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nikki's saying, if you got a car and you're not making it, and you borrowed money on that car and you're not using that car to make money, that's bad debt.
That's bad debt.
All right. So it's the same thing with credit cards.
If you use that credit card and you used it for a trip, and that trip isn't a business trip, it's not going to bring you any return. It's just a trip. Let's just say to Disney World, you're not getting any return. You used it for a trip. Let's say you used it for repairs on your personal house. That debt is bad debt. That's not good debt. That personal house isn't making you money unless you're Airbnb in a part of it, and that's the part that you fixed up. All right. Bad debts are liabilities. Absolutely. Jimmy said bad debts are liabilities. Absolutely.
So the key thing I want everybody to understand about Chris's answer is that just by saying credit card, that doesn't put it in the category of good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you use the credit card that makes it good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how I grew up, and I talk about it all the time, I was taught that credit cards are bad, period.
Yeah, you should never have a credit
You shouldn't
card.
have them. You shouldn't use them. If you can't afford to buy it with your money, don't get it.
Yeah,
That's how I was taught.
I was not brought the same way. I think immediately when I got to college, I got a credit card, one for food. But I was also put on as a authorized user on my grandmother's card to boost my credit. And at that moment, I didn't even know that that was boosting my credit. I thought she was just looking out for me because she wanted to make sure I had gas money, which is the way she pitched it.
Do you feel like she understood credit to the point of where she knew it would boost your credit?
I don't think she understood.
It was more so here go a card if emergency use. I'll pay for gas and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I think that's how I would pitch it to my kids too, because I was very like cautious of when I used it for gas. I made sure I wasn't just going anywhere and just like constantly filling up the car with it. It was, I had a job too at that point, so it was okay. Once a week, I would fill it up. But if we went on a road trip, I wasn't using her card to go on the road trip and to fill it up. So I don't think she understood. If she did, she played it real good to where she didn't tell me that. And then it was a gas station card too. So it wasn't just like a Visa or a Capital One where I could use it on anything. Nah, it was restrictions on it.
All right. So now we understand what's good debt, what's bad debt. All right. That's the first thing you got to understand when we go to changing your mindset. When we go to getting some of those bad myths out of your head, some of those things you've been taught all your life. It's time to change those things and look at them different. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people in my age group and older grew up under Dave Ramsey. He taught debt is bad. So understand that if you've heard that for 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to be hard to deprogram yourself. But you just got to understand it. You got to have big goals and big visions to help you
accomplish those goals.
All right.
Absolutely.
So the second thing I want to talk about is OPM.
All right.
All right. That's other people's money.
Yeah.
So forms of OPM are credit cards, lines of credit, mm-hmm. whether that's personal or business or HELOC. Other forms of OPM are retirement accounts. Mm-hmm. Other forms of OPM are people that you may know lending you money.
Yeah, all of those.
All right. So understand OPM. That's other people's money. All right. So first, we're going to understand what's the difference between good debt and bad debt. The second thing we're going to understand is what exactly is OPM. Mm-hmm. Even when you're going and getting a loan to buy the house, that falls under OPM. Mm-hmm. There are many forms of OPM. The concept is what you really, really, really have to dive into and understand. Mm-hmm. All right.
So I want to touch on Mr. Booner's comment. He said one form of bad debt is your personal resident. Your personal resident can be bad debt, but it can also be good debt if you are renting out a room for an office and you are paying yourself a monthly rent for that office space or writing off that office space because it's in your personal residence. So everything that we come in contact with, we can literally shift our minds into saying, how can we let this make money for us? Our personal house, can we Airbnb the basement? Can we rent out a room from a office standpoint? What can we do so that we turn this bad debt into good debt? What were you about to say, Antonio?
I forgot.
Okay.
All right. So before I go too far, the one thing that I will say is when it comes to OPM, the OPM that we do not like, all right, the one that is the last one possible that you gonna use, last one on the pole. It's on the pole, but it's like barely hanging on, is your personal credit cards. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. I do not recommend you using your personal credit cards to start investing in real estate.
Why, Antonio? Why don't you recommend it?
The reason I don't recommend that is because your personal credit is 30% made up of your utilization.
Mm-hmm.
So when you use that card and you max that card out for a house or a item or a material or whatever you're going to get, that's going to affect your personal credit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We don't want to do things that's going to affect our personal credit because we always want to keep our personal credit intact so we can go get money.
Yeah.
All right. So it's so important that the last thing you use is personal credit. Now, if you're telling me, hey, I got a $50,000 personal card and it's going to take $5,000 or $10,000 to get this house or get into this deal, then that's a little different. You're not maxing out your credit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you got enough credit to withstand utilizing it and keeping it under 20%, I'm cool with that part.
Now, I wouldn't let it stay there forever. What's up, T? I wouldn't let it stay on those personal cards forever. Like, I would want to pay that off as soon as possible or refinance and get my money out of it. But as a starting point, if you absolutely have to, then by all means have to. When we started, I had to do my personal credit card, and that was because that was all I had. I didn't have it in the bank. They weren't giving. I didn't, because they've been giving it out all forever. So let me say that I didn't know enough about business funding to even get business funding. In fact, yeah, I don't even think I knew enough about business funding to get business funding to even even make that deal work.
25?
Yeah, definitely not.
Wasn't even on our radar.
Absolutely.
But the thing about it, just to use your story as an example, I think overall the house was maybe $6,000-$7,000, $8,000 at the max. Like, that's a choice that you got to make at that point in time to say, hey, do I max out this card to buy this house?
An asset.
That's an asset. My credit gonna take a hit, but I'm gonna have an asset. Mm-hmm. So people that are watching this training, all right, this is a part of challenging you and adjusting your mindset because it starts in the mind.
Yeah.
If you got a 750, 800 credit score and you ain't got no money, that's your fault. Point blank, period. You should not have a high credit score and not have money in the bank to invest.
Yeah, you should be able to you can leverage it, but you just have to be willing to leverage it so that you can get off the sideline and get into the game. By any means, whatever it takes for you to get off the sideline, you got to get off the sideline. You can't save enough to get you where you need to be. You can't save $100,000 just by going to work every day and having that 9 to 5 so that you can invest one day. The time that it takes you to invest, the time that it takes you to save that much money, you could have did 3, 4, 5 deals and made that. Like, so don't let I'm trying to save, I'm waiting for the perfect time be what's stopping you and holding you back. The truth that what's really stopping you back is fear. Fear that you're going to fail, fear that you're going to spend more money than you need to spend, and fear that something's going to go wrong. Something's going to go wrong. You got to get over your fear. But guess what? There are a million things that are going to go right, and that's going to take you down the trajectory and the path that you're looking to go down. That's going to change the generations. That's going to change your family. That's going to do wonders to your lifestyle. But if you continue to stay on the sideline, all you're going to do is say, I wish I could have did that instead of doing it. Or I know I was made to do that. I know I was born to do it. I know that's my calling, but now it's not the right time. Well, when will be the perfect time?
It's never going to be the perfect time.
It's never going to be the perfect time.
It's never going to be the perfect time for you to take action and start investing. Never. I can think back to when we started. I could have easily, and I rarely make things about us. Mm-hmm. I could have easily said, man, I just graduated from college. I ain't got no real job. I'm a substitute teacher. Man, I'm in a whole different state. I don't even know the area. There were so many reasons for me not to start investing.
I'm young.
I'm young.
Nobody's
I ain't worried about that. I ain't got no kids. Like, why am I even going down that route?
Yeah.
There's always going to be things that saying you shouldn't do it, but you just got to overcome those things.
Absolutely. All right. So we don't recommend you investing in personal credit cards. However, if that is your only way of entry and that is your only way to get into the game, then get into the game and we'll figure the rest out later. All right.
If I got a choice between $50,000 in the bank and a bad credit score, give me 50. Because I'm going to go make that 50 work. Yeah. But that's just the mindset.
And you're going to go back and fix the credit score.
I can fix that credit score when it's time. I can spend some money.
Guess how you're going to fix that credit score?
How I'm going to fix it?
With the cash.
With the cash you'll make for that 50?
Yes.
I like how you think.
Clears everything. Sales clears everything.
That was a bar.
No, it does. Like, you got to sell something to make something to clear it up. Sales clear everything. All right. So let's talk about buying houses on credit cards, not your personal, but literally doing it from your business.
All right. Let's show them the tool first.
Okay.
All right. So we got a tool that we kind of have created.
That we have created.
I'm sorry for the bad language, that we have created to help us calculate payments. All right. The first thing I want you to understand is it doesn't truly matter how much the interest rate on the credit cards is. Like, it's a factor in which one I'm going to use, whether I'm going to use the 10% or the 15%. I mean, that matters. But what doesn't matter is which one that I know I'm going to use. I know I'm going to use one of them to get the deal done. All right. But you got to understand how to calculate these things to understand how to make money off of these things.
Big facts. Hey, D. Let's go.
You got to understand how to calculate these things. So let's say I have a credit card and I'm paying 20% interest on $25,000.
Okay. Right? No, let's do 20,000 since it's already in the calculator. Got to show it work.
You share your screen? All right. So let's do $20,000 on a $20,000 utilization on 20% interest.
Yeah. So basically, if you are paying 20% interest on $20,000 credit card, your interest payments will be $333.33. All right.
Well, the total will be $533
for interest, and then your payment will be $533.33.
All right. So say it again so it's clear.
All right. $20,000 utilization on your business credit card at 20% interest, because people don't like 20% interest.
That's too much. I can't do nothing with 20% interest.
Yeah. So your interest per month is going to be $333.33, but your payment, your credit card payment, is going to be $533.33.
All right. So now that we got this information, what we need to do is go find us an investment vehicle that's going to pay us more than $533 a month.
Okay.
All right. So in an ideal world, I want to go find an investment that's going to pay me $750 a month. All right. And it's just, I'm talking concepts and thoughts. All right. So in my head, if I can go find an investment that's paying me $750 a month, I'm going to take $533
and pay that payment.
But I'm also going to take that difference and put it in my pocket. Understand, this is how bank work.
So all of your money that's in your savings, that's in your checking account, I promise you right now, if you had $100,000 that was in your checking account and you decided, you know what, I want to withdraw all my money today. I no longer want to work with your financial institution. They're not going to be able to give you $100,000 in cash. Okay. They're not going to be able to give you that money because they lend it out. So while you are putting your money in the banks, in the accounts, they're lending it out on their auto loans. They're lending it out on their mortgage products. They are lending it out
on their credit card
on your behalf. On your behalf. They are lending it out and they are making what I like to call in your sleep money without even physically investing, without having to check on contractors, without having to do any of that. They are lending the money that you put basically in your savings and in your credit, in your checking accounts. All right. So why not be the bank too and lend the same money that they're doing, but lend it as well and make a difference. Make in your sleep money. And I like to say it's without using any of your own money, because that credit card was never your money, but that credit score allowed you to get that credit card that now can make in your sleep money that can change your life and change your situation.
Yeah.
Let's just take, for example, let's say that you got this card and you honestly got it at 0% interest for, let's say
for a year.
For a year, and you decided to lend it out. So you lend it out, you still getting that $750 for lending it out, and your credit card payments for a year is $200. You've just made $550 without using any of your own money, reinvesting an investment to you. Basically, the money you put into your checking account that they gave to you on your credit card, you're reinvesting it out to someone else on your own behalf. But your credit score allows you to get that type of leverage. Being connected, being in rooms, being a part of trainings like this, opening up your mindset, adjusting your mindset to say, okay, even if I am paying 20%, I can still make money off of this. It may not be as big as of a spread as if it was 0%, but it's still money that I didn't have in my savings that I'm able to make money off of in my sleep.
Yep. So whatever that interest is and whatever that minimum payment is, go find you an investment that's going to pay you more.
Yeah.
That's why when we say the interest on the credit card,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't.
And we love real estate so much because real estate spits off super high returns.
Yeah.
Like real estate returns are double digits sometimes. And a lot of times we so caught up on this 27% interest Amex card when we don't realize we can go take that same money and make 100% over here.
Big facts.
I don't care about this 27%. If I can go put this money out and make 100% ROI on my money.
So the reason why we made this calculator is because we realized that a lot of people were getting stuck on the interest. They were getting stuck on, okay, I'm going to have bad debt, and not realizing how they can turn that bad debt into good debt and make money. And I think our biggest drawback was, okay, I'm going to have a new $200 payment. Well, let's go make it where you're not having a $200 payment. Let's go make it where you're making $500 off that $200 payment. Now that changes things. And then you start to say, okay, well, how many times can I do this?
Ooh.
And what does that look like for me?
Ooh. How many times can I put $20,000 out, make $500 a month? Ooh.
Without it. All right. So this get touchy because I know y'all know us for real estate, but how many times can I do that without having to deal with the tenant, without having to make repairs, without having to deal with the contractor, without having to deal with all that encompasses in real estate? How many times can I relend my money out? I can do that infinite times. I can do that in my sleep. I can do that forever and still make money off of money that was never even mine to begin with.
All right, here go another shine the light moment. I'm gonna call it shine the light moment.
Absolutely. Dee said, I want to hear your shine the light moment. She said, that's exactly what we do for our properties. As long as we aren't making the payments, we are winning for the long-term investment. Absolutely.
Facts. All right, here goes another shine the light moment. All right. You threw me off. You told me to stop.
Okay. It was making money that was never your money
Yes.
to begin with.
Here go another shine a light moment. All right. Real estate isn't the goal, people.
No, the goal is to become the bank.
The goal is to become the bank.
Yes.
Real estate is a vehicle we use to get the money to become the bank.
Absolutely.
All right. Real estate is not the goal. And I know a lot of us are chopping at the bits to get real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate is good. Real estate is great long term. Real estate isn't necessarily going to make you wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate isn't going to necessarily create enough by itself to where you don't necessarily have to work for real. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
What will is becoming the bank.
Mm-hmm.
What will is becoming a lender. What will is lending that money out and getting a return of money that was never even yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you create wealth.
Like, what is your return? And I need my mathematicians, I need you guys to go ahead and do the calculations. What is the return if you never invested any of your own money? What is the return on that? What's the return on that?
So what you're saying is, if I go get a $20,000 loan per se, and I invested into real estate, and I make $10,000 over my $20,000, what is the return on that $10,000?
What's your return?
If I never invested my own money.
Yeah, what's the return? I'm waiting on it. Y'all drop it in the chat. Chris said, if you can't make in your sleep money, you'll have to work for the rest of your life.
Ooh,
big facts.
Facts.
Big facts.
Facts. All right.
I don't want to work physically. I want to work mentally all day.
And even anytime you have properties, a lot of times there's still some sort of attention it needs. All right. You can hire project managers, but there's still things that you're going to need. When you start lending that money out and you start making money, they start coming back double and triple, and you like, whoa.
But this just happened. It did.
How many times can I do that again?
Let me do it
again. Can I still work my 9-to-5 job and do that?
Yeah.
Like, I think Larry is one of the best examples of when he started hanging around us, it was real estate, real estate, real estate. But as we started talking more, it started to become lend.
How can I lend? How can I do that?
He did real, and this is true story. He did real estate to offset the money he was making from lending. So understand that you got to change that mindset if you're really trying to grow and make something of yourself and create something different.
Absolutely. I see you, Janetta. Let's just link up.
Can we do an example?
Okay.
All right. So, Chris, you on here. I should have got permission from you to do this. I'm gonna ask you now. Do you mind if I tell the deal structure, the terms of the deal structure that you have with Cliff? If you mind, I will not tell it. I will choose somebody else, but you on here and you can't top of mine. But I think you're a good example of, you and Cliff are a good example of how you can take that debt and make it work for both of y'all to where it's a win-win situation for everybody involved. So
absolutely.
Tell me if you mind or don't mind.
In the meantime, I'm going to answer this question.
Okay.
D says, how do you vet the people? So you want to do more than just vet the people. You want to vet the deal. All right. You want to make sure you're on the deal. You want to make sure that the deal is a win-win situation, that it's not an over-leveraged situation, and that you're both in a good position.
I seen you answer, Chris. Thank you.
You want to make sure that's what you want to make sure most. And then you can vet the person. But let me say this. It may be someone that may have flaws and blemishes that's actually your best client versus someone who never even started.
Yes.
Because they've been through the failures. They've been through the pitfalls. They understand how to continue going even when they should have given up.
I listen to a lot of stuff. But I heard somebody say, I'm not going to take credit for what I'm going to say. Somebody said, I will never go into business with a person who haven't failed in business. because if that person has failed, they know what it feels like.
And they don't want to repeat that.
They know how to
Persevere
through the struggles and come out on the other side. If you ain't never experienced that hurt, that pain, I really can't do no business with you. Because when it go bad in our business or something happens, you're gonna quit on it. You're gonna shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So understand it's a part of the process. All right. So let's break Chris deal down. So I'm gonna give y'all a Cliff Note version of Cliff while she get the whiteboard up. All right. So she a little slow on the whiteboard, so give her a little time.
Listen here. I'm trying to see if it's possible. This ain't Zoom.
Not possible? You done did whiteboard before, Ashley. We gotta call Tech.
Don't make me sweat. Just keep going. Just talk about it. Let me see what I can work out.
Oh my God. All right. So
yeah, obviously I'm not tech, okay?
All right. So I'm gonna tell y'all the Cliff Notes of Chris and the Burns situation. So Chris got business funding. Chris got over $100,000 in business funding. He's looking to get his first deal. But in the meantime, opportunity to invest some of his business funding came his way. Cliff, he's an experienced investor. He has many properties, but he has one property that he bought cash and he's just sitting on it right now. All right. So between conversations with Cliff, conversations with Chris, they already knew each other for real, but they just never really linked in this way to make something happen. So what we did was we structured a partnership or a lending. I mean, you can't do
it. Keep going.
Does that mean?
Yeah, I can't do that.
All right. So I just got to kind of talk you through it. So we structured with the help of Chris and the Burns, a partnership to where Chris Terrell is going to lend $30,000 to Cliff Burns on a rehab.
For the record, you ain't got to put people's whole name out there, okay? AB.
I'm sorry. I just get into.
I understand.
Mr. Chris is going to lend to the Burns $30,000. All right. Mr. Chris is going to use one of his business credit cards to lend the money to Cliff. I guess if I say Cliff and Burns at different times, you know it's Cliff Burns. I'm sorry, I get them names right. Well, I stopped saying them right. Okay. The Burns are going to use that $30,000 to. The house is a burnt up house. It has some fire damage. They're going to use that $30,000 to get the property up to a point to where they can refinance the property and get some more money to finish the rehab.
Yeah.
All right.
So at its current state, a hard money lender will not lend on it because there's too much work that needs to be done. So if your purchase price is lower than your rehab, they don't feel confident when it comes to lending money on it. All right. So we're going to get it to a point to where it feels like it's about even. And that way they don't have a problem with lending money to finish out the rehab.
All right. The other reason that we structured a deal like this is because when Cliff goes to refinance, it's a lot easier to get a hard money loan when you have debt on the property. They don't like to give you cash back in big chunks because the more cash back you get from a refinance, the higher the chance of you walking away from the property. So if you can be creative and borrow the $30,000 up front, then go and refinance, your loan looks a lot better to the hard money lender. Yeah, it's not just hey, let's refinance and get $70,000 to it just looks a lot better. All right. So from a number standpoint, let me tell you how we structured it. I'm gonna name a card.
And should I just like hold up a sign
you just
to
gave
walk
up.
it through?
Just a sign.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what card Chris used, but I'm gonna just use a Amex. All right.
Okay.
So Chris is going to use an Amex card that he has a 0% interest for a year. All right. What
Do
you
you want me
doing?
to talk?
Okay, you
I was
finish
gonna
up.
put it in the calculator, but I
Okay.
wanted to.
I mean, you just can't be changing the screen like that and thinking me.
They can't see you, okay?
All right. Okay. So Chris is going to use a Amex card. He has a 0% interest on for a year. So the payment on that card, the minimum payment,
How much is he lending? 30,000, right?
32,000 maybe.
Okay.
We put some closing costs in there. So the minimum interest payment on that credit card is going to be $320. All right. What Chris said before we started these conversations was, Chris said, I want to make $6,000. Chase, I want to make $6,000. So we said, how do we make this happen to where Chris can make $6,000 and Cliff is not hurt by paying him $6,000? So how
in
we
a 6 month time
in a
frame.
6 month, it's really a 3-month window we were looking at, but we did it for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we did was we said that there's basically going to be a note and mortgage created between Chris and Burns, and it's going to be on the property in first position. All right. Burns is going to pay Chris $320 a month. All right. That's going to cover the minimum payment on the loan. Follow me? Keep in mind, ain't no interest on that $320. So that's going to be straight principal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So $30,000 loan, $320 is the monthly payment. So what the agreement that we made was, at the end of the loan, Cliff, the C's be confusing me, Burns is going to pay Chris the difference between how many payments he made and $6,000. All right. So example, let's say that Burns have the money for 4 months. All right. So we're going to take $6,000. That means he's made 4 months of payment of $320. So the payoff, the profit part on the note is going to be $5,680. Hold on, I did it wrong. 6,320 times 4 minus 6,000, $4,700.
$720.
$20. I didn't put the 20 on it. So Burns is going to pay him essentially $6,000 to let him borrow $30,000 for 3 to 4 months. All right. Chris is not making these payments. Burns is. I wish you had the whiteboard because I'm just talking numbers, and I know some people don't get these type of numbers.
Yeah.
All right. So understand how Burns is going to pay that $4,720 is through a refinance. He's going to refinance, and when Chris sends in his payoff is going to be for $32,000 plus $4,720. That's where Chris is going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So he's paying the initial 32 back, but remember those credit card payments, it's not 32 anymore because it was all principal. So he's essentially getting back the entire 6,000, even though it sounded like 4,000 when you did that. He's getting back the entire 6,000 because he's already paid down the principal because it's a 0% interest.
So his principal isn't 32,000 no more on his credit card. His principal don't went down. So now once Chris Terrell gets back the $34,000, $36,000, he's got to pay off that credit card.
Mm-hmm.
And he just made $6,000 and never had to go to the contract, never had to deal with a contractor, never had to do any painting, never had to do nothing but say, here go $30,000.
Here's my terms.
Here's the terms of the deal. Let's make a deal happen.
Yeah.
You could do that all day, y'all.
And you know what, the part that you didn't touch on,
You know, if I had the whiteboard, I probably would have touched on it.
No, you wouldn't have. This above your pay grade.
Ah.
You're going to get points from your credit card company. You're going to be able to cash out from that point where you're probably going to make $1,500 additional just for using it and paying it back so quick.
Yeah, because remember I don't cut you off. when you get new cars, they do all type
They're
of perks and bonuses, and they need you to use the money. But if you use that money, you get rewards.
Yes.
So at the end of it, you'll look up and you done made $1,500 in cash just from the points on the card.
Yes, alone. Now, how many times can you do that? And how many times can you do it in your sleep? Casey say chess move. Absolutely.
Oh, it's chess, not checkers, big dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's chess, not checkers. So understand that. Moral of the story is the interest rate don't matter. Let's hypothetically say, I know it's great, Chris. Let's hypothetically say that he had to pay 10% interest on his car.
Okay, so let's switch it to 10%.
Let's just use 10%. Hey, you got to pay 10% on the car. It's not a 0% interest. That sounds good because it's 0% interest. And if you want this credit card that we're using, put CC in the chat and we'll give you this credit card.
Do 3 C's, CCC, credit card calculator.
And we'll send you this calculator to help you maneuver and calculate some things. I don't know why I ain't been telling y'all that, but it's all right. So now,
Go ahead.
Let's say you had to pay 10%. Now that minimum payment is $586 a month. If I had to do the same deal, when I go to Chris now, to Mr. Burns, I'm going to say, hey, I need you to at least make my minimum payment. You can pay me my profit on the back end.
Yeah, let's just do $600 for my minimum payment, and we'll just pay the profit on the back end.
So whatever that interest is, just pass that along to the bar.
Thank you, T. Thank you, T. T said this combo is fire. Good, good, good. I see y'all, CC.
I see you, Lawanda. I see you, Chris. I see you, Mr. Harris. Casey had a question. Casey says,
should you pay a card off, then reuse it, or ask for an increase and run it back?
So, well,
it depends on if you want the perks and the points. If you want the perks and the points, pay it off and reuse it. Because every time you pay it off, reuse it, let it roll through that statement cycle. So now you can redeem your perks from it too. Like literally, this is how business owners take trips. From credit card perks, from paying their employees using their credit card at 0% interest.
Who are we talking to?
We were talking to Brandon.
This
is how they take
their trips. He
sends his contractors on a trip out of the country just by paying the contractor off of a credit card because he's getting the points and he's saving it up. He's taking them out the country, and then that's exactly how he's keeping him plugged in, keeping him wanting to continue to work with him. But in anything you do, how can I use this to be better for me? How can I use this if trips is what you want, if that's your goal from a family standpoint? How can I use my renovation money that I'm paying off my credit card, that I'm paying off my credit cards with? How can I use those perks at the end of the year to reward my family? How can I use the perks from lending out money to reward my team? Like, what can I do to continue making that money and not having to let it work for me?
Yeah. You got to put yourself in the right position. You got to be around the right people. Just like was that D said, how you vet them. You got to make sure you're vetting the people. You got to make sure you're vetting the deal.
Yeah, but guess what? If you don't know what a deal looks like, then you can't vet the deal. So understand what a deal looks like. So you're not just taking it from a face value, but you're looking at it, you're understanding it, and you know, okay, yeah, this is something that I want to lend on. This is something that I want to do business with because it's a good deal. Not it feels like a good deal. It's a good deal.
Yep. So like even when you're getting like real estate loans, they make you get an appraisal because they want to know what the value is going to look like. They make you get an inspection sometime because they want to make sure the house is in good condition.
Or in a state that your scope is going to fix it and it's going to be worth what you say that value is once it's fixed up.
Yep.
All right. Drop some questions in the chat for those of you who want this credit card calculator so that you can start plugging in the numbers, guesstimating what your payments are going to be, and then
guesstimating or estimating
what your payments are going to be so that you can structure deals where you already know what your payment's going to be and now this is how I make my money. This is how I make it a win-win situation for everyone that's involved.
But if you're just coming on, make sure you go back and watch this, because you're not going to get to the point of understanding the credit card part if you don't go back and watch the beginning part of what's good debt, bad debt, what's OPM, what not to use. All this isn't going to make sense. So if you're just turning in late, go back and watch the beginning, because it'll all make sense. It might not make sense coming in towards the end and just seeing this credit card calculator and we moving and we talking numbers. Go back to the beginning and watch it, because it's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
It's a transformation of all the things you've probably been told growing up.
So for everyone who's watching it, I want you guys to send me a DM after you watched it, after you thought about how you can leverage where you are and make money. I want you to send me a DM and tell me what you thought of. I want to hear it. DM me, Ashley Denmark, and I want to know what this training did for you, and if it shifted you, and if it didn't.
And if you're still stuck. Like literally, we had one person, and he was an older guy, 55.
That's not really older. You're getting closer.
I said older. He was older than us.
Okay.
Is that the definition of not older?
Maybe. Come on.
He was about 55 years old, and he grew up on Dave Ramsey. So this stuff that we was talking, it was like cuss words. It was like, that's not how you do it. That's nothing to do. That's not how I was raised.
Fast forward
a year later, he's completed one flip.
He's completed two.
He got 2 flips completed on his third one.
Yeah.
And he ain't using none of his own money.
None of his own money.
It's mental, y'all. It's a mindset shift.
Absolutely.
And there are stages to that mindset shift. You just don't go from 0 to 100 overnight.
No, so don't expect that out of yourself. I'm not expecting it out of you. Don't expect it out of yourself. Don't hold yourself to that. Listen, it's bite-sized increments. All right. If we just get 1% better every day in 365 days, we've taken leaps and bounds.
And if you got a 700 credit score and you want to see about getting some business credit, send me a DM. We can talk about it.
Just write funding in the chat and we'll reach out to you.
I mean, everybody might not want to know they got a 700 credit score.
Okay, true story. Send Tanya a DM, but send me a DM because I want to know exactly what transpired in your mind and how you're going to start making money off of money that was never even yours to begin with. All right.
Let's go, man.
Let's go, you guys. I can't wait to see you next week.
Make sure you give us a heart or a like or a comment in the chat if you enjoyed
something. Make sure you do it. All right. You ready?
Let's ride.
Love you guys. Peace.